Okay, we're done with warrants?
Yep.
All right, and road commissioner report.
Okay, not a lot to report. We've been sanding, plowing snow, obviously.
Really?
Yeah, working some overtime when we need to. Larry is working on the highway budget, and that should be available next time we meet. We did initiate a safety program in the shop with everybody coming into the building, needs to fill out, answer the 5 questions, DC guidelines, and get the temperature taken. And I'm told the thermometer doesn't work in that shop, so can we order another one?
From there, I understand it needs a battery, and I will check with
Well, Randy
Al.
told me he changed the battery, but let's check it out.
Ours doesn't work either.
It doesn't?
Nope.
Oh. Al came up with 2 new ones, one for here and one for the
Right,
shop.
right, yeah.
So I'll contact Al and see if he has batteries for them, or if there's something special one needs.
Yeah, either that or whatever we need to do. That's it for the road commissioner's report right now.
All right. New business.
The only thing I know of is Cam Johnson
Yeah.
issue, and we've hired Bill Mew to represent us in court, because he's taking us to court. You aware of that? You been following
Yes,
that
yes, a
communication?
little bit. And I'm wondering if we need to have Bill New represent us.
Well, Jay and I thought we did, and
Okay.
We're worried about a technicality, something coming up that we couldn't see.
yeah.
Well, I'm looking at such small money. We're talking an $11 tax bill as opposed to
Well, his
whatever.
new bill is $500 and some dollars.
At 500, well, Bill New, calling him is 500.
Yeah, I understand.
So I was I was thinking that we send, because excuse me, I talked to Michelle a little bit yesterday or the day before. And I didn't talk to her about whether to hire an attorney or not. We didn't get into that part of it, but we were discussing the Kimberly Johnston thing. And he's been, well, whatever, we've known him for quite some time.
Mhm.
And the BCA has, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much been over backwards for him. And I think that even the listers have gone a little more than they usually do. But as far as, it sounds like the listers have, their ducks in a row enough that maybe the listers or whoever has to be on that 2-hour, because I think it said up to 2 hours on the conference call or
Yeah.
whatever it would be, the
Yeah.
hearing.
Mm.
So I would almost send them right in there and find out. I don't see where we've got there's no big money to lose. There's more money to lose by having an attorney. And I know from past experience with Kimberly Johnston that when we had Fred Glover as our town attorney, that he was very good at using up all of our attorney time as he possibly could, because even if he wasn't going to get his way, he knows enough about law, he's been to law school, he knows enough about law to run the bill up on our end, and he's got nothing to do.
Sort of look at it that way.
And, well, I think that's his I gotcha. That's what I think, is that's his I gotcha, because even if I lose, I don't care. You guys just spent,
Well, I'll tell you, he did it with us,
$1,000.
as far as the BCA, I think that's why I was eager to get it settled. We all spent a lot of time just sort of, a
right.
lot of us, right? I mean, it's only
Yeah.
maybe 2 hours, but I mean, that's probably.
No, I've been over there measuring, doing things that we weren't supposed to be doing, that, not that we weren't, but stuff that we weren't required to do. We're over there bending over backwards, pulling tapes and looking at pins and doing things. We're not surveyors.
Yeah.
And we went through all that, and then we knocked things down for him, and it's still over an $11 tax bill. he decides that now he needs, he needs it all back, now, well, he doesn't, he doesn't want to pay that, that's wrong. So then we've got the listers ticked off because they're like, we've done this, we've gone through this, now it's like, okay, we're gonna throw you in there, you're back up to a buildable lot. And as far as what I had talked about with the listers was, he hasn't presented any evidence to them to that point, but, I don't know. That's where I'm thinking, including the town attorney, it's up to all of us, so, if you guys still want to stay with that, that's fine with me, but
Well, the other side of the
Yeah.
coin, I hear you, Sean, and you're right in everything you're saying, but there's a couple of ways of looking at it. If you look at the long term, it's a matter of principle, and if he has a $500 bill now in his tax bill, and he wins his case, if we win it, or if he wins it, let's say, we're going to be out for the next 4 or 5 years, $2,500. It's going to add up if he wins his case. And we messed up the last case that had to do with planning on Simpson, is that the name? When Mary Schofield screwed that case up?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have good representation.
right.
And we lost there, and we shouldn't have lost. So, I don't know.
Well, this one, I'm not so sure that it matters if we lose or not, because I don't see it as a valuable piece of property.
Well, it's buildable, it's a buildable lot. Right? I mean, he needs, if he,
Assuming it perk tests, yeah, but yeah, I mean, it meets the criteria dimensionally.
yeah, dimensionally, it's a buildable lot. So, I see what he needs to do if he was gonna win this case is get an engineer to certify that it's a buildable lot, that's not a buildable lot, and I don't think you'll find one to do that.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it is small potatoes, I get it, and I don't like running up a legal bill either, we don't have
Well,
to.
when we were talking about an $11 tax bill, that's what we,
Yeah,
I
but
think it was.
his new bill now is 500 some dollars.
Right, but before that, he got ticked off over that he was going to have to pay $11 or something to that effect.
Oh, that little sliver there.
Yeah, but there was nothing, and so, we keep pushing and shoving back and forth, and, and eventually he might find out that, that it's not a buildable lot. I mean, obviously the sliver isn't, but, the other one is, what are you going to put there? What on that little lot where that Lincoln Town Car or Lincoln Continental sits, what are you going to put there with a septic?
Yeah, that would probably just about fit a little, like, camp with a septic system.
Yeah,
That would be all you would be able to do.
Yep.
And it would be,
Like
camp.
that container down there on
the
Resident.
lot isn't much bigger than this room.
Yeah, it's like that cargo container down there, they built that on the lake.
Yeah.
That lot is half the size of this. So I don't know exactly how they pulled the septic off with it, but.
Well, I think there may have been, because there's a trailer there before, so they may have because it was, the septic probably stayed continuous through something, so it had to be approved with something, and the septic had been used, to my knowledge, because the trailer had been used.
Well, we can try it that way with the listers arguing it.
So are you gonna oversee it with the listers, like the process to make sure?
I don't really see any reason to oversee what they're doing. I mean, we're all on the VCA, so I don't know what our VCA obligations would be.
Does that fall to Steve or somebody then?
That would be, Steve would be,
Okay.
to find out whether, with the because the VCA probably had to have gone along with the listers this time, but he's going straight out.
So who's responsible for arguing it if it's not a lawyer? Is it the listers or the BCA?
Well, that's what there is the home run question right there.
I feel like we have to have somebody responsible for it.
I would think that it would be, I would think the listers really need to present their case, and so maybe the listers and the chairman of the BCA to be present, because I know that, Michelle was she was adamant that that they're right.
I believe they are.
I believe they are too.
And I think she's right in saying that. But it's the legality of how you present it, and I don't know the ins and outs of how to do that.
But if we do that and we lose, we haven't lost anything. If they win, then it's a bonus.
Well, if we lose $500 a year in taxes.
Right, but he's coming back next year. He's coming back next year and contesting that again. He's going to contest it every year.
Yeah.
But if we're almost on first name basis. I've seen it for so long.
But if we win, he can't come back and argue the same case over and over and over every year. If we win.
I think if you win, it's valid for 2 or 3 years.
I think it's 2 years.
Actually, I was talking to Steve this weekend.
Okay, I think it's 2 years.
Yeah, it's either 2 or 3. I think Steve told me 3, but...
I think so, but I'd have to check to be sure.
So...
And we're never going to see them.
So if we win, in 3 years, that's $1,500.
Right.
If we lose, we lose $1,500.
Right, and if we lose $1,500 plus the attorney's fee is going to be double the $1,500, or not double. I don't know what I shouldn't even say. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Attorneys are not. It has nothing to do with who they are.
Yeah.
Attorneys are not cheap.
I agree. Oh, I agree. Well, if you think it's a good idea to try it, I can go along with that. Yes.
In the absence of hiring the attorney, I guess, I would feel better if we had somebody who was actually the lead on the,
Yeah, somebody's got to be the point man. You're absolutely right.
So it doesn't get accidentally dropped, we missed a court date or didn't have
So-
some data.
And whoever, I see, because I think that now, I'm assuming that Michelle being the senior in the lister's office, that she would be the one to present their case. So do we need to talk to her and Steve, maybe maybe even during our special meeting? I don't know how soon this is all going to take place.
Do you know the court date?
I think it's January 27th, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Somewhere around or 17th.
So we might be able to even ask them to be at our special meeting, because we can run their business, whatever we're going to do with our special meeting or our next select board meeting.
Yeah. I like the next select board meeting.
Okay.
Don't muddy up the special meeting.
Okay,
Keep it
okay,
to
yeah.
articles.
Well, because we can do town business before and after, or after.
Yeah, we could.
But
Yeah, we could.
no, whichever way, yeah.
Either
As
way.
long as we've got time to get everybody on board.
Yeah. Why don't we ask the 2 of them to come to the next selectmen meeting
To the
That
next
sounds-
select board
Yeah,
meeting?
that sounds,
and
Yeah.
tell them what it's about, so they're prepared?
that sounds,
I would like to kind of hear their case and just review an outline of
Right,
what
because
they're going to present, see if it makes sense.
absolutely,
sure
because
it's
we might, at that point, you might say, hey,
Yeah.
we do need.
Okay, so can we put you on hold?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that question. I did let him know
Yeah,
that this was the hearing date. I sent him the paperwork, and I didn't read what he responded, but he needed more information. Should I just put him on hold until he hears from us in a week or two?
yeah, can you communicate that to him?
Sure.
Just tell him the board's reviewing options or something, and we'll get back to him.
Okay.
So we'll table that one till the next meeting. So that's gotta be on the agenda. Okay. That's all I have for new business.
Okay, our old business, Airbnb.
Yeah, nothing changed there. We've got a warning date,
Okay, yeah.
January 27th. And I haven't heard any comments or questions from anybody in the public, so we're moving forward with our ordinance draft. Yeah, that's that one.
And, well, of course, you wouldn't until after our, because that's going to be brought up at our special meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so nothing new on that one right now.
Okay. And now to our special meeting.
It's been warned, right? It's in the paper.
Everything's been warned. We've already had a few responses to people who want a seat in the town hall.
How many?
3, I think.
Oh, good. I thought you said 18.
No,
I'm
no,
saying, wow.
we're permitted 20. That was
Yeah.
kind of the idea.
Yeah. Great, great.
So, and I have a list of people who would want an absentee ballot for the delinquent tax collector
For that vote,
for that vote, because that will be the next day.
that's the 28th.
And I will be putting together a ballot and send it to you just for your okay. And I did send a letter to Kathy, didn't hear anything.
He responded to 3 of us.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, she did respond. I did see that.
Oh, to whom?
To
You?
3, us 3.
Oh, to you guys, oh, okay.
And she's thanked us for getting her a notification in advance.
Okay,
Now, on the special meeting, how about the Zoom piece? We talked about maybe having a hybrid of
mm-hmm.
residents here plus a Zoom meeting. Are we having any luck with that?
Yeah, no problem. I'm
No
gonna
problem.
set that up.
Yes.
Uh,
Good to you.
You know, I'll probably, I haven't talked to Tom Harris yet, so that's one thing I should do about sort of, if we need like a moderator support, so we can answer questions. Otherwise, I sort of serve that function, which is okay too.
Yeah.
It just leaves you answering more of the questions. If I have to be watching who's popping up on the screen. A week though,
Oh, I
I'll
see.
found something
Yeah.
decent. And I had Sandy gave me Vince's number down at the IT place, and I talked to him about all the things that we were doing, and he gave me some
Nice.
advice.
Nice. Good. All right.
So, all right, so we're down to, or beyond the annual town meeting and the audit.
Oh wait, so annual town meeting.
Okay, annual, because you were talking about special and annual both at the same time there for,
So yeah, so we got circulated something about maybe if we want to postpone our annual town meeting till it was safer. They've made some provisions for these things. Do a hybrid, like we're gonna do with Zoom and in person. I guess it just depends on what everybody thinks is a good format. Maybe this thing, you know, if we get Tom Harris involved and he kind of goes through Zoom with us, if he's willing, he might say that, you know, town meeting
Right.
can work like that, well, or not.
so, now, because you brought up Tom before, so Tom, would he be, the special town meeting, he would be involved with that?
I think we could ask them to, just as, say, hey.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
was getting confused
Right,
with
right.
hearing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're talking about both meetings at the same time as.
Yeah.
I just want to be like a dry run for us, for like the annual meeting, if we're gonna try this hybrid thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and we do need help, you know, if there's a lot of people on Zoom, it would be nice to have somebody to help.
Right.
Yeah. Wonder how many people you can have at a Zoom meeting?
I think my account, I'll double check, but I thought it was 100.
Okay.
We're never gonna meet that here, so, yeah.
There's been talk on our internet with the other clerks. Some people are postponing the town meeting. Some people are going to have it outside when the weather's nicer. Some people are going to keep it the way it is, but have an Australian ballot the next day. And that would mean that floor voting would be out, and you'd have to vote on the budget, I guess appropriations, when we get our tax bill, because I think that is in the warning, and that would be voted on the next day by ballot. So those are all considerations.
That may limit the amount of people that want to come. If we're limiting it to 20, I mean, think about how many we had last town meeting, 50, I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, I think you're probably.
So
about
if we're
right.
only limited to 20, we're going to piss off some people.
Right.
They're not going to be happy
Yeah,
because they can't come in the building. So maybe that's a good idea to put everything on an Australian ballot, and then maybe people won't feel the need to come and vote.
Well, they'd be voting the next day. There'd
Yeah,
be no
yeah.
voting at the annual town meeting.
Right,
Just-
I understand what you're saying. But they could do absentee ballots and not have to come into the building.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to come in the building.
You know, and all those questions, they'll still have a chance to vote on it if they're not sitting here. So maybe that's a good idea.
The other thing is that I did see some clerks were either a letter or a postcard, because we have put it on the website, we put this information in the paper, Plymouth Press, blah, 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 but if people don't see that, they sent a postcard or a letter to every registered voter outlining the procedure so that Mr. and Mrs. Jones would see in print what's happening.
Now, this is for the annual meeting?
The annual meeting. Elaine and I thought that might not be a bad idea, even though we have to pay for the postage.
I think, yeah, I think it's good. Could you fit all the info on
I'll
to
put a
save
link.
post? I mean, instead of stamping envelopes and sending all that, can you do like
On a postcard? You know what, I don't think so. And I don't think the
because it'd be
difference,
too much info?
yes, and I don't think the difference in price is only a few pennies. I was gonna call the post office,
It's
but they
easier
were
to handle, that's
closed.
the only thing. I said it would be easier for you to handle,
Yeah,
so that, you know, you're in there licking all those envelopes all
oh, we
day
don't lick,
long.
we have self-seal, so we're good to go. But I think we might get more information in a letter than all of that on a postcard. That's our feeling. And again, I don't think it'd be that much more expensive to do a letter as opposed to a postcard. But I'll find out and let you all know.
No, I'm not that worried about the price. I was just
Okay.
just wondering. I didn't know if there was like a huge difference that's like, oh, it's 18 cents for a postcard and 50 cents for a letter.
I think it's more than that, but I'll find out for the
So-
postcard.
So Sandy, you just sent out an email today about notifying, you said, it started off, you had a conversation with Elaine, and you talked about sending out.
I think yesterday, no, it must have been, yeah, it might have been today.
Okay, I thought that was in reference to the special meeting.
No, this is in reference to the town meeting.
Okay, got it. Okay. Sounds good, right? Sounds good.
So why don't I put something together and I'll send it to you for your approval. Okay.
Okay, so now we're at audit.
As far as I know, from what I read from Cynthia, she has all the information for the audit taken care of.
Now she's looking for something from me, which is deposits, which I didn't get to today.
Yeah.
But that was for August, so I'm not quite sure how that's related to the audit. It's after the audit.
I believe it's not related to the audit. It had to do with our
Budgeting?
budgeting. Yes.
So the audit's set.
Yes.
Okay, and Smith is in on it, everything. They're actually going to do it. We were on time last year, weren't we? Yeah.
Huh? I
We
haven't
were
heard,
on time with Smith last year, right?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
We
was-
haven't heard anything from them yet.
No, yeah, but I mean, that was, so, all right. And, okay, the work on Kingdom Road,
And we have the proposal from Autopilot Engineering.
right?
I told him our intention was to approve that proposal for the first phase of the geological study, and he was going to contact his firm and try and get a schedule, but had hoped that that work could be done before the year's out, so we take advantage of weather
Right,
before it gets too severe.
uh,
And I haven't heard back from him in a week now, but
well,
it's kind of in the work. So, do we have a approval for the proposal?
I think so. I can't imagine that they're gonna be up there doing a lot of surveying right this minute. But,
Okay. So let the minutes show that we're approving the Autopilot proposal.
So what is this on Kingdom Road? I'm sorry.
Uh, Repair work on the Kingdom Road.
because this is still, yeah, the same proposal we looked at
It is.
last time
Okay.
around. Because that was the one, because I had the question about, it looked like some of the
Yeah,
engineering
you did.
costs would have been in, but it wasn't, would have been included.
All right. It's
So-
a proposal dated October 21. From Autopilot Engineering. Okay.
All right, so the hot trash, I think, didn't we
I put
say
that
that we were?
on because Mike, who is in property maintenance at Hawk, when I go pick up my mail, said, well, what they'd like to do, and I wasn't sure what the contract that the town had with Able, if it permitted Hawk to personally deliver trash, and they'd have to work it out, because I'm not quite sure what Mike was talking about, up to Able on Lyons Hill.
I don't believe they can. I
I
don't believe that that can be an actual transfer station.
I didn't think
You
it
can't,
was.
yeah, you can't. They'll have to go to, I believe they'd have to go to
Like
Bridgewater.
Bridgewater? So Mike really should talk to Able about that.
Yes, absolutely.
And
It just-
exclude the town of Plymouth.
Mhm,
Okay,
I think,
That sounds right.
yeah, because we don't have fast trash here anymore.
Nope.
That's the closest one. And if they wanted to talk to, because I think Plymouth can Plymouth go to Ludlow?
I don't
No.
think so.
Okay,
I don't think so.
okay. So there's their only option.
And there's been negotiations between Hawk and the Salt Ash Homeowners Association, and I think a lot of that has now been passed. So Hawk owns certain things that used to, no, Salt Ash now owns certain things that used to be Hawk, but I don't know everything, so. But they're negotiating all that. So who knows what the trash for the homeowners will be based on what Salt Ash Homeowners Association is saying. But they've taken over a lot of the Hawk responsibilities.
Okay.
Can I back up to Kingdom Road for a minute?
Yes.
I wanted to make sure Jay knew, you and I had a good conversation about the survey, and I talked to the engineers and all that. And what it boiled down to, Jay, was we may not need the survey. We may not need the extended right-of-way. There are two options they're looking
But
at.
if the road doesn't get relocated?
Yeah, one is to lower the road, one is to relocate the road. If it's relocated, we're going to need the survey. But the survey's complicated, because I talked to Mike Coleman about it. We may need a subdivision permit or a variance. there's just a lot involved if we have to go that route. But until they do this geological survey, we won't know. They're gonna come to us with, two,
You can do boring?
yeah, they're gonna do
Okay.
borings, but they're gonna come to us with two, options and estimated costs, and we can analyze them and figure out which one we wanna do, but if we just lower the road, we may not need the extended right away. That's why we're holding off on the survey piece.
Got it, thanks.
Just so you look at that one out. Okay. Under old business, I have a new item. It's the, I just want to keep you guys in the loop. I met with Royal Group over there, and we came up with a plan about keying in the community center. And I just talked to them today, and in fact, they're probably going to be here this Wednesday to change cylinders out. So that building, we're going to have separate key to the classrooms, a separate key to the Historical Society, and a separate key to the front door, and a master key for everything. And there'll be a separate master, it won't be tied into this master. That building will have its own master. So we'll rekey those, it's all cylinder changes, no lock changes. But the suggestion was made, actually Larry made a suggestion that it might be advantageous to have a keypad lock on that front door. It'll allow us to track who comes and goes, and it'll limit an extra key to the front door. So I asked Agnes to give us a proposal for that, for a keypad lock.
Oh, a pad that you...
Yeah,
Okay.
like we have on the back doors and all the back doors around. So I haven't got that proposal yet, but it's just an idea. It's coming up.
And then once you were in the main building, you would have your regular key
Yeah.
for the,
Exactly. So like when Lauren's there and people are coming and going, she can key in a code to unlock that door.
right.
So it stays unlocked for the day. And then lock it, just like any lock.
Mhm.
But after that, you know, it allows us to track who comes and goes.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, I did have one other thing on old business, the highway department bay insulation. Is there any activity on that?
I reached out to my guy and asked him what the estimate is, so we'll get that in 2 days here.
Okay.
We'll have to...
It's in the work, that's good. That's it. If we're done, I do have one item for executive session I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
The only question, I have one,
Yeah.
and so what do we do about writing the report for the annual report for the town, like a narrative for that?
Oh, yeah.
Before it gets too far down the road, before we forget, because there's a lot of things.
No,
that you do.
I've got a reminder
Okay.
about that the other day, but I guess that's my job. I'm supposed to, so, yes, so anyways, and I have been thinking about it.
We need to schedule a budget meeting too sometime coming up.
Right, yep, and whatever with that.
Okay.
Um,
So we're ready for executive session?
Sure, and then after that, we'll try to figure out a budget date.
Oh, we can do that first if you want.
It doesn't make any difference to me.
Let's do it now.
You do it.
Let's do it now. It's up to you, Sean. We're a little more
I
there.
don't know, well, I'm gonna be a lot more available here shortly, I think. What works for, when do we have to have this?
Yeah. We have a drop dead date on the budget?
Yeah.
There's really no particular date because it doesn't go in the annual report. Well,
Oh,
yeah, I guess it does for the new year,
Yeah.
sorry.
gotta go.
Usually about the beginning, the mid-January is when I
Okay,
submit
yeah.
it to Rutland Printing. Because you need X amount of days to mail it out, and we still mail out.
Okay. So, absolute drop dead date, January 15th, something like that.
Yeah,
Which isn't far away.
No, it's not.
Can't believe the 20th already.
I know. Well, one good thing, Today is the shortest day of the year, as miserable as it is. It's the shortest day of the year, so we start
Oh,
going
thank
the other
God.
way.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
out of
true.
here, our low budget tomorrow morning. We've got one more minute of daylight.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I mean, we've got time, do we want to wait until the next meeting to schedule that?
Okay.
And then instead of getting ahead of ourselves and not having any numbers that we want, or that we need,
Okay.
but that's totally, that's yours, because I'll make whatever work if we want to, because I don't really have a,
I'll be getting you a new calendar.
okay.
So, you're gonna
Yeah,
have to squeak.
yeah, it'll probably have kittens on it.
No. I don't know what the first day in January, I guess it's gonna be twice in January?
Yes, I think, yeah, we are in January, there we are. Yeah, because we probably should because of,
So what's the next meeting date?
that would probably be January 6th.
All right.
No, that would not be. I'm back at 2020. I started the whole year over.
The 4th is a Monday, right?
I don't know what that day is, maybe Jay knows with his trusty computer.
January, yes, January 4th is Monday.
I have a meeting that I can't get out of at 7 o'clock. And I could make the first part of the meeting, or and then
Do we want to do that and hope for no problems? That's up to
That's fine.
you guys, or I mean, we change it to a different day.
Yeah, we could do that too.
I'm okay with that. I just, I gotta be out by like quarter to.
Because we don't, it doesn't,
Well,
there's
right
no
now,
law
it's
that says it
quarter
has to be
7, so, I
Monday.
mean, if we have a meeting like this, it's okay.
Okay, let's plan on a short one, because
Yeah.
that way, if there is a lot of stuff that comes in, we can postpone that part of it.
Yeah, we could, sure. Yeah, we don't have to.
We can say,
Adjourn the
sorry,
meeting.
there's no,
um,
there's, we have enough on the agenda.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's do the 4th and the 18th.
Okay.
So when's the budget meeting? Are you gonna do it on the 4th, or are you gonna pick another day?
Or we could do it like later in the week, like on the 6th or something.
We could maybe make our schedule on the 4th, we'll decide what day we want to meet.
Okay.
Because I think that, definitely my schedule is gonna open up more. They'll be sleeping late. I'm going to bed early.
That weather driven and just season driven?
Yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, no, actually, I'm being kidding. Hopefully I'll be hauling logs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, all right, yeah, we'll figure that out on the 4th. We'll plan our budget meeting, because we should be able to get that, because you've done a lot of,
We've got a lot of the preliminary stuff. I
yeah,
think,
so we should be able to sit down and bang that out in the afternoon or an evening, or,
Sounds good.
because we did it before, just in an afternoon meeting.
Okay. So we ready for executive session?
Sure.
Cameras off?
Hang on one moment. Actually, this is,
Okay.
okay, and you are off.